It's time for sister talk. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. So I asked you guys to ask me questions that you're either scared to ask your older sister or questions that you would ask your older sister if you had one. And let me tell y'all did not disappoint. These are great questions that I am ready to get into. Disclaimer, I am gonna be brutal, I am gonna be honest, and my advice that I may give you may not be the advice that somebody else may give you, and that is totally okay. Everyone is subjected to their own opinion. I really want to make this a series, so if y'all like it, please do let me know, because I have two older sisters and some of these questions I would never ask them just because I am too scared, or let's say past tense would be too scared. But I'm also an older sister, so I'm hoping that some of these questions my little sister would not be scared to ask me one day. So if you're ready, grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's get into it. But if you do want me to make this a series, let me know. Okay, first question, how to leave a relationship that hurts you even though you have a lot of love for them, / how to break up with someone. Quite a lot of y'all were asking how to break up with somebody, and I do hold this subject very near and dear to my heart because I have had to break up with somebody. Firstly, don't make a pros and cons list, because if you are already asking yourself, how do I break up with this person? You need to break up with them. Like, that is the first step. Knowing that you need to break up with them is a very big step. You need to ask yourself, why do I want to break up with this person? Are they abusive? Are they toxic? Do they belittle me? Do they curse at me? Do they not give me enough attention? Do they not text me enough? These are all questions you should be asking yourself. Now, when breaking up with them, it's preferred to do it in person, right? With my situation, when I had to break up with this specific person, they were abusive and I was scared to do it to their face. So if that is your situation and you feared that they're going to hurt you or touch you or lay a single finger on you, don't do it in person. I don't care what anybody tells you. Don't do it in person if you're terrified to be around them in that situation. However, if they are not abusive and this relationship is not abusive, which I'm hoping and praying that it's not, try to do it in person. I know it can be hard and it can seem nerve-wracking and scary, but in the long run, that person is going to appreciate you doing it to their face instead of over the phone. I'm already parched. Now we're really gonna dig deep into actually how to break up with this person. First, you need to explain to them why you're breaking up with them, because there's nothing worse than being broken up with and not really knowing the reason why. And not just the reason, but it needs to be the truth. It needs to be the actual reason why you're breaking up with them, because you don't want to leave them wondering. Say, for example, I'm breaking up with somebody because they don't communicate well with me, or we just aren't clicking, we don't like the same things. This relationship is just not working out the way that it needs to, okay? First, obviously, you need to tell them, hey, we need to talk, which I think is very known to be the we're about to break up conversation. When you start to talk to them, you need to lay it all out. If you still love this person and you still have respect for this person, tell them that. Say, hey, I do still love you. I do really appreciate you and respect you as a human being, but this relationship just isn't working out for me at the moment. I just don't think it's the right time for us to be together. Or if you're positive that you're not gonna get back together with this person, again, be honest with them. Just say, this relationship's not working between us. I'm sorry, but it's time for me to move on. And hopefully they understand. Also, listen to their side of things. You don't just want to completely block them out and not let them say anything. Let them have a say. Let them down easy if you want to. Again, if it's an abusive relationship and they're toxic, don't let them down easy. I don't care how it is. Also, a few days after the breakup, don't let them back in. We're gonna get into that in a minute because someone asked a question about that. But anyways, short answer, lay it all out to them. Be honest, tell the truth, and end it. I mean, you already know that you want to break up with this person, so just do it. It's a lot easier said than done, but it needs to be done, girl. Break up with him. Second question, how do I get more guy friends? So I was the girl who always had guy friends, so I do feel like I'm okay to answer this question. Firstly, guys are very simple. Easy said, okay? I feel like when men only want to be your friend, which is very rare on some occasions, just whatever you do not change yourself to find guy friends, if that makes sense. A lot of men gravitate towards women who are just being themselves and who are honest and truthful about who they actually are as a woman. I guess what I'm saying here is don't try hard. You don't want to seem like you're really pushing to be this guy's friend. It will come naturally. The simple answer to this is just talk to them. I don't think a guy is ever really just gonna be like, don't talk to me. Guys don't do that. So seriously, talk to them, be yourself. That is the most important part here, is to just be you. And if these guys don't want to be your friend, their loss. But seriously, that is the simple answer. Talk to them. It sounds so silly, but it's the truth. Third question, how is high school? Okay, so I actually love this question because it makes me realize that some of y'all are still in high school and possibly even younger, which I love so much. But high school is what you make it. Some people I knew had a miserable high school life because they weren't involved in anything. They kind of just went through every day kind of like groggy, didn't want to be there. So high school is what you make it. I loved high school so much, and I am one of the people that misses high school quite frequently. I was very involved. I was on the dance team. I went to every single football game. I talked to literally anyone and everyone, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. High school isn't fun just because you go to all the football games. You talk to everybody. High school is what you want it to be, and it's what you make of it. If you don't want to go to football games, don't go to football games. Do what is fun to you. If you want to have a small group of friends and just do fun things here and there, that is perfect as well. I just loved high school. I didn't take any upper classes. I took solely classes that were within my age group, classes that I was supposed to be taking at my age in my grade, which made it so easy for me. I was asked to be in college classes and take higher classes, but I refused because, first of all, I had 3 jobs in high school and I was on a dance team, so I was already very schedule packed, but also because I knew that if I did that, I would struggle and high school would no longer be easy. So just do what's easy to you. If taking higher up classes is something that you are interested in and you really want to do that, then do it. I, however, was not, and everybody is different. So where I'm going with that is the fact that for me, high school was easy. There were definitely classes that I struggled with, like algebra. I failed every single algebra test my entire high school career up until the state test. So I did struggle here and there, and biology was a struggle for me, but I didn't let it bring me down because I knew that high school isn't the end result. High school is not supposed to be taken seriously, at least in my opinion. In high school, you're supposed to live, have fun, do what makes you happy before you go off to college, because college is where it gets serious. College is where it gets really freaking hard. You do you have fun, you go to all the football games, you be involved if that's something you're into. If not, don't do that. High school is seriously what you make it and what you want it to be. There are so many options out there for you, so many sports, so many clubs. Teachers are usually very laid back in high school. I have some of my teachers on Facebook now just because I love them so much. Yeah, high school is just a place for you to have fun and do whatever you want, in my opinion. Okay, I don't want y'all to think that I was like a party animal in high school. I graduated with a 3.7 GPA, which is like average, I think. Maybe a little above average. Like I wasn't the smartest kid in school, but I also wasn't like unaware of my work. People would pay me to do their homework, if that says anything about how I was in high school, but I found a good balance. Let's say that. That is the simple answer. Find a good balance between school and fun, work and fun. Okay, that's what you need to do, and that is gonna make high school the best experience for you. Okay, this question, my answer is gonna be a little bit different than everybody else's because I feel like I had a very unique experience. When did you first get a boyfriend? So my first actual serious relationship was in 7th grade, and I know that sounds crazy, but we dated up until junior year of high school, and we broke up the summer before senior year. In between that, we had lots of complications because obviously middle school and high school, you are figuring out who you are trying to become the person that you want to be, and you're really just figuring it all out. You're figuring life out, and even now as a 22-year-old, I'm still figuring life out, to be honest. So I got my first boyfriend in 7th grade and basically grew up with him, did everything with him, and I don't regret it at all. Let's just say that. He was my best friend at the time, and we ended up ending things just because we both kind of like fell out of love, which is even like scary to talk about for some people. But I had a very great relationship with my first boyfriend, and I really hope that all of y'all have had that same experience or will have that same experience because it taught me a lot. I learned so much from that relationship, just about relationships in general, because let's be honest, your first love is a lesson. Usually, not for everybody, but most of the time, your first love, your first relationship is a lesson to be learned. And I learned so much from that relationship. Next question is, do you have any type of routine when you're on your period? Yes, 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 and yes. So I do have a period video up, like kind of a period day in my life. Maybe I wouldn't say routine, but there are definitely things that I do every time I'm on my period, so I guess routine. First of all, I use a Flex Disc. I gave up tampons because when that whole scandal about tampons having toxic chemicals in them, it really scared me, and so I switched to a Flex Disc, which is like just those discs that you kind of like fold up. It looks like this, and you shove it up there, and It unfolds like this below your cervix and catches all of the blood, obviously. And I love that because you can leave it in for up to 12 hours and you don't have to worry about it. And it also drains by itself whenever you go to the bathroom. Is drain the right word? Dump, maybe? It dumps itself when you go to the bathroom. And so you can leave it in for up to 12 hours, which is so amazing. So I use that the first and second day, which are the heaviest times on my period. After that, my period really slows down. So I will just use a pad if necessary. Like if it's still too heavy, but not heavy enough for the flex disc, I will use a tampon, but most of the time it's not. So I just use a pad, and I like to use, oh my God, what are they called? The honey pot pads. I like the cooling ones. I know a lot of people don't, but I love them. And so yeah, I just use pads after the second day of my period. So you really just need to play with what works for you, but that's what works for me. Next one's kind of funny to me, but does a girl's skin really peel when they're on their period? Quick answer, no. That is a lie that girls on the internet made up to scare men, basically. I do think it's really funny that women came up with that, and like hopefully no men are watching this so we can still just say yes, it's true, but it's not true. That doesn't actually happen. Thankfully, it doesn't happen because that would be an absolute nightmare, let's be honest. Moving on. How to stay strong during no contact. Again, this one hits home for me because I was one of those girls that would give in when an ex would text me. Again, you need to remember why you broke up with them. If they broke up with you, remember why they broke up with you. The truth is, in order to not contact them and be okay with no contact, you need to resent them for some reason. That's the honest truth. And maybe that's a little unhealthy, but you need to tell yourself, listen, I'm over this person, or I'm trying to get over this person. And if I keep talking to them, that is just not going to work out. If I want this person out of my life, I need to stop talking to them. If it comes down to it and you absolutely just cannot stop talking to them or stop answering them, you need to block them, or you need to delete their number or block them on social media. Okay, I've been that girl. I've had to do that, and no, you are not weak for blocking somebody. Don't believe that. If that is what's best for you, and if that's what's going to help you not contact them anymore, then do it. Because trust me, if you keep talking to this person and you keep answering them, they will not leave you alone. They'll never leave you alone, and they will think that they have this place in your life that they absolutely do not have, and they are not welcome to have. So you really need to put your foot down and maybe even tell them, hey, I am no longer speaking to you. Please stop talking to me. Please stop texting me. If you don't, I'm going to block you. Simple as that. And if they don't respect that and they don't respect those boundaries, you need to block them, which will also make it easier on you to not text them. But to really answer the question on how to stay strong during no contact, firstly, if you're still reminiscing or really thinking about and healing this part of you from this breakup, or even this, like, it could be a friend breakup as well, let yourself sit in it for a little bit. Okay, that is the healthy thing to do, is to listen to your body. If you need to cry about it, cry about it. If you need to punch your pillow, okay? But after 4 days to a week, you really need to put your foot down. You can distract yourself if that's what you need to do, but you need to remind yourself how strong you are as a woman. Just don't allow yourself to really dwell on this person, okay? Because there's a reason why they're not in your life anymore, and there's a reason why you are in no contact. So remind yourself, you are stronger than this. You are stronger than needing somebody to text you or needing to talk to this person. You are okay being independent, and you're stronger being single than you were being with this person, if that makes sense. Next question is, how can I be confident around rude people? I actually love this question because I totally get it. I totally understand. And this really brings me back to high school, when you would have that group of like girls that would always just be like, you know, like side-eyeing you or staring at you or literally talking about you. And while it's hard to be confident around girls like that because they seem confident, just know that if these people are being rude to you or to anyone, it's because they're insecure, okay? They're not a confident person if they feel the need to be snarky or be rude in general. I know for me, in situations like that, just knowing that those people are not confident people makes me feel more confident. And also, this might seem silly, but seriously, hold your head high, pull your shoulders back, lift yourself up, because I promise you that's gonna make you feel 10 times taller than these people, not physically but mentally. And truthfully, if you are just being yourself and you're being nice and you're being a pleasant person and you're talking to people and you're minding your own business, you should feel confident, because that is what you're supposed to do. Let's switch the example to if you're a server or a waitress and the people that you are serving, the people at your table, are being rude to you. The best thing to do is kill kill them with kindness. Like Selena Gomez says, kill them with kindness. It is so true. It's the truth. People hate when they're trying to be rude to you to make you feel like this, and you just come back with the kindest remark, the biggest smile. They absolutely hate it. And that should make you feel good that you, even though these people are being snarky and rude to you, that you can still be super nice and a super endearing person. That should make you feel confident. Next question I love so much because I actually struggle with this one, but it's how to know if a guy actually likes you or is just being nice. I say struggle, not anymore because I do have a boyfriend, but I did used to struggle with this. And actually, when my boyfriend first messaged me on Instagram to like talk to me, I just thought he was being nice. I thought he felt bad for me, and he was just like, I don't know, trying to make me feel better. But there is a big distinction in if someone's just being nice and if they actually like you. You're not gonna know within the first 5 minutes of talking to this person, okay? You have to give it time. If they are genuinely interested in the things that you're talking about, they ask you questions to get to know you, they're texting you all the time, maybe calling you all the time, they just can't leave you alone, then they like you. If this person is just being nice, then they may ask you about yourself. They may be interested in learning about you or interested in the things that you are interested in, but they absolutely will give you your space. They won't feel the need to talk to you all the time. They won't feel the need to be this close to you at all times. Like men, there's something about men, when they like you, they will be as close to you as possible without touching you, unless they're just a freak and they want to touch you, which is disgusting. And if they do, punch them in the face, I don't know, do something. But there's something about men, when they like you, they want to be close to you. Now, if this guy just wants to be your friend, he's not going to feel the need to be that close to you at all times. He's gonna have his space. Even if you get close to him and he's like, girl, like, back up, you're in my bubble. He obviously doesn't like you, okay? Men are simple beings. It's really just about reading their behavior. Next question is, how do you deal with fake friends? Don't even get me started. Actually do, because I love this topic. So the first step to this is figuring out if your friend is being fake or not, which should be pretty easy, let's be honest. If you're always the one asking to hang out, you're always the one making plans, they never text you, they never call you, they talk behind your back, disgusting, the list goes on, okay? If they're doing all of that, they're clearly a fake friend, which is sad, but next step is you need to slowly get them out of your life. Maybe not slowly, you could be the person that is very brave and texts them and is like, hey, I've realized that our friendship is not what I thought it was. I think it's best that we don't hang out anymore and we're just not friends anymore, so on, so on. Now, if you still want this person to be in your life, which is very reasonable, you could sit down and have a talk with them and be like, hey, maybe even call them, text them, okay? In this situation, it is okay to text your friend. You can lay it all out there with them and say, I think that recently you've been a fake friend. You haven't been calling me. You haven't been putting in effort to hang out with me. Is there something going on? Are you okay? Like, you know, you could really be there for them. I'm not against that, okay? I think maybe that is the best situation, just to kind of feel it out, okay? Now, again, if you are on the side where you're like, I just can't be friends with this person anymore, they're driving me absolutely crazy, you could ghost them. You could. If you think that's what you should do, you could ghost them. I don't think that's the best thing to do, but if you feel like that's what needs to happen, then go for it. However, if you just straight up feel like you should lay it out with this person, then do that. This one's really up to the person. Like, this one is different for everyone. For me, I kind of just let conversation slowly deteriorate, and then they kind of figure it out. They kind of realize, oh, maybe we weren't really friends. But really, like with fake friends, you're gonna have that tension. That tension is going to be there at all times, okay? And so both of you probably know we shouldn't be friends anymore. So again, it's really different with every single person, and it's really up to you with how you want to handle it. But those are my examples. Hopefully some of those help. Okay, next question is, what do you wish you knew about dating? I guess this is like past tense, what I wish I knew kind of like before I was dating. So many things, but mainly the red flags to look for. There's so many red flags that a man can have. There's so many red flags that a woman can have as well. Love bombing is definitely a thing. Love bombing basically is that at the very beginning, they will show you so much love. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I love you. I would do anything for you. I would swim across the entire ocean to be with you, and blah, 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 blah. And then a few weeks in, after all of that, they will just be non-existent, not communicating anymore. And then you'll be head over heels for them because they said all of these things to you. And oh my gosh, he's the best guy ever. He said he would swim across the ocean to be with me. And he's just no longer interested. That is love bombing. I was in a relationship like that, and I was in that relationship for way too freaking long. So look out for that for sure. Another thing I wish I knew about dating is that actions speak louder than words. If somebody's telling you that they love you so much and they would do anything for you, but they're not putting in the effort, they're not making dates, they're not taking you out, they're not texting you good morning and good night texts, then clearly they're not that interested in you, which is such a stab to the heart, okay? But it's true. A guy can say all he wants to you, but if he's not putting in the work and he's not showing you that all of these things he's saying are true, then he's not the one, girl. He's not the one. Also, if a man is telling you who you can and can't talk to, who your friends should be, what you can and can't wear, you have to constantly ask if you can go somewhere without him, break up with him. Break up with him so fast. Like as soon as you're done watching this video, because that is so toxic and I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that men weren't supposed to act like that. But trust me when I say it's only gonna get worse. That's just a few of many things that I wish I knew before dating. Okay, this next one is very personal, so I think y'all are gonna love it. But what was the first time like? Again, this one's different depending on the person. But for me, I had been with this person for over a year. So it wasn't necessarily awkward, but it's still like weird in a sense. It's a very weird situation, especially if it's both of y'all's first time, which in a sense is much better, honestly. Like you should prefer it that way. Maybe not should. You have your own opinions. That's my opinion. Don't expect it to be like the movies. Don't expect it to be like the books because it's not gonna be. It's gonna be weird and it's gonna be kind of awkward and you're gonna be like, what was that? That wasn't fun. That was painful. That was, I don't even know, that it's just not right. Maybe not right, but trust me when I say it's not like the movies, okay? Also, kind of going on the line of first times, please do not give it to just anybody. That is only gonna end up making you hurt and breaking your heart in the end, I promise you. I know that some people prefer to be married before, which is okay, and some people prefer not to be, which is also okay. Again, everybody is subjected to their own opinion, but if you are going to give it to somebody before marriage, please make sure that you are safe with this person, that this person understands you, that this person is non-judgmental, and so many other things. But to really answer the question, not like the movies. I really like this next question. How do you get a guy to respect your standards without pushing him away? First of all, if this guy is meant for you and you are supposed to marry this guy and be with him forever, no standard is going to push him away. So at the very beginning of y'all's relationship, you need to sit down and you need to have the conversation of this is what I'm okay with and this is what I'm not okay with. And if he does not understand that, he needs to go. Don't let this relationship go on longer than like a month or two before laying down these standards, because you will only be hurting yourself in the long run if you let this go on for years and years and he is still not respecting those boundaries and those standards that you have laid out for him. So again, if this man does not respect your standards and that pushes him away, let him go. Let him be pushed away because he is not the one for you if your boundaries are allowing him to step out the door, period. This next question is near to my heart, but how do you make a long distance relationship work? Not everyone knows, but I am in a long distance relationship, and I wouldn't really say long distance. It's really like a medium distance. It's 2.5 hours, but I don't get to see him every day. I don't get to see him every week, sometimes even every month, just because we have very different schedules, and that's okay. But trust me when I say long distance relationships can work if you are both putting in work. When my boyfriend and I first started dating, we set up a movie night every Tuesday, and we would both just watch the same movie at the same time on FaceTime. We have found a better way to do this, and it's called Teleparty. I think that's what it's called, but it's just a website where it plays the show / movie at the same time on both computers, so that's really nice. But do stuff like that. Create little dates. FaceTime each other often. Tell each other about your day, okay? You want to make this seem like y'all are close together within distance than y'all actually are, if that makes sense. It's just really important to constantly communicate with this person. Obviously, if you're going to school and you have work and he's going to school and he has work, you can't talk every single second of the day, but you also need to be okay with that. You don't want to be codependent on this person, and that doesn't just go for long distance relationships, that goes for every relationship. If you are codependent on somebody, it's only going to make it harder for you. So you need to realize, hey, I can't see this person every day, and that's okay. I'm okay being being independent. I'm okay doing things by myself. I'm okay going through the days and just talking to him at the end of the day on the phone. I'm okay with that. And if you're okay with that and he's okay with that, it's gonna work. But again, you both need to be putting in the effort. And if it's only one-sided, it's not gonna work. My advice is to get creative, okay? Set up little dates, find games that y'all could play. Like Josh and I played We're Not Really Strangers over the phone. So I had the cards and I would just read them out to him, and we would answer the questions. So that was really fun. We did that for like 2 hours one night on FaceTime. Just be creative. And if y'all are both putting in the effort, then it's gonna be okay. The next question is, how do you handle close friends who only view your content and don't actively engage with it? Okay, so when I first started doing social media, this was a big one for me until I realized, hey, my best friends don't need to engage with my content, okay? If they like it, they like it. If they repost it, cool. If not, it's not the biggest deal in the world. They also have a life. They also have a job. They might play sports. They might be going to school. And plus, none of my friends do social media. None of my friends really understand the importance of liking a video or reposting a video or saving a video or commenting on it. So if you feel the need to educate them on that, go for it. I'm sure they'll understand. Or just be like, hey, I'd really appreciate it. Like if you could repost this video, it would really help like the algorithm kind of push my video out. If not, that's okay. You really just have to accept the fact that, again, these friends may not know the extent to what social media really is, and they may not have the time. Let's just be truthful. Sometimes if you're going to work for 8 to 12 hours a day, if you're going to school on top of that, if you're living your life and it's kind of stressful, they're not gonna want to comment on a video or a post, and that's okay. I think, again, I had this issue, and I think it really just, like, you have to give up being selfish within that aspect. And if you are selfish within that aspect, again, it's okay. You just have to kind of think about it a little bit differently. That's what I had to do, at least, because I have close friends, and I have close friends that know that I do YouTube and I do TikTok and I post on Instagram and all of this stuff, and they don't comment, and that's okay. They'll like the post maybe, but they don't comment, they don't save, they don't repost, and that's fine. That is fine with me, because at the end of the day, I know that they still support me, and if I talk to them about it or if I update them on how many subscribers I have, they will congratulate me and they'll genuinely be happy for me. Now, again, with the fake friends, if they're not genuinely happy for you, if you can tell that they're kind of jealous, like she's posting more on social media than I am and her videos are more creative, and like even I've had thoughts like that, okay? If you kind of realize that and they're not supporting you, even though they're having those thoughts, like jealousy is okay, especially within social media, let's be honest. But if they're bringing you down with them, you don't need to be your friend, and you need to go back to the portion where I talk about how to get rid of fake friends. But all in all, it's okay if your friends don't interact with your content, and you need to realize that. You need to be okay with it. Okay, last question is how to deal with anxiety without feeling like you're losing it. Ooh, this is a good one. So I am someone who has struggled with really extremely life debilitating anxiety, okay? There were times when I couldn't even leave my room without feeling like I was nauseous and like I was gonna puke all over the place because I was so anxious. Now, hopefully this is not your situation. And if it is, I would recommend talking to somebody, getting a therapist. But if we're just talking about daily anxiety, if we're just talking about like, oh, I feel really kind of anxious at the end of the day, and I'm anxious throughout the day, and I don't know, I feel like I'm losing it, but I don't want to lose it, and I just, we're kind of panicky. This may not be for everyone, but this was the situation for me. A lot of anxiety comes from not being confident, overthinking, brooding, catastrophizing situations, etc., etc. A lot of anxiety comes from the way that you think about your life and the way that you think about certain situations. Anxiety doesn't happen to you, you are creating it. Let's say that, and that is the truth, and that is scientifically backed up. I'm gonna say that again because I feel like lots of people need it. Anxiety is not happening to you, you are creating it. And that might feel like a stab to the heart, and that might feel like a stab to the stomach as well. Once you realize, I'm doing this to myself, you might have an epiphany, okay? You might really rethink everything, because that's how it was for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm creating this myself. And that might seem really like simple, but when you realize that also takes you down the path of when you're feeling anxious, you can really dig deep and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? what am I thinking about? What is my brain thinking? So say like you're just going about your day and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm anxious. You need to ask yourself, why? Why am I anxious? And I've realized that when my boyfriend does this, I'll just be like, I'm really anxious. And he'll be like, why? And I'm like, oh. He doesn't ask like that. He's genuinely curious about why I'm anxious. But even just asking yourself the simple question, why, will make you rethink and kind of switch your brain from, oh my God, I'm anxious, to what am I thinking about right now? You need to listen to your inner voice. You need to listen to what yourself is saying to you. If your inner voice is constantly beating you down and being like, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, your smile is ugly, your hair is ugly, this outfit sucks. If that's what your inner voice constantly sounds like, you need to work on raising your self-esteem, which will then lead to your anxiety letting go and your brain relaxing a little bit. Because again, a lot of anxiety comes from self-esteem and confidence issues, and that's the truth. A lot of therapists will tell you to distract yourself, and that is the most unhelpful information when it comes to anxiety. You don't want to distract yourself. When you're anxious, you want to dig deeper. You want to figure out why. You want to figure out what you're thinking about and why you're creating anxiety over this certain thing or certain situation. Dig deeper. Again, ask yourself why. Think about it. Take yourself through the steps. Okay, why am I feeling anxious about this? Is it because I'm not really going to know anybody there? I don't know, I didn't study very well for this exam, or I'm just feeling anxious for no reason. There's always a reason. I promise you, there's always a reason. Maybe you haven't gotten out of the house recently. Maybe you need to go on a walk. Maybe you need to do some deep reflecting, journaling. There's always a conclusion to everything, okay? There's always a way to fix something. And with anxiety, hear me out, anxiety is silly. Anxiety is not our friend. Anxiety it likes to pop up in the most random places, and you just have to stand up to it. Once you become stronger than anxiety, you're gonna be able to breathe again. And by doing that, you have to go through these steps of building your self-esteem, raising your confidence, asking yourself why, and going through the motions, okay? Hopefully that answered the question. I really don't know if it did, but if it didn't and you were the person that asked that question, feel free to reach out to me and I can kind of go a little bit deeper into it, because I am someone who has dealt with anxiety for years upon years, and just recently I have learned the steps to take to kind of get over it. But that is the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, again, please let me know, because I would love to make this a series. I had so much fun answering these questions. If you're not subscribed already, I would really, really appreciate it if you could click the subscribe button and the like button. That would really help me out a lot. And I will see you next time. Love ya.